So this is my first video. If you like it, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. And thank you for joining me. Thanks for listening. And we're all in this together. And share your story. Don't keep quiet. If you need to share it, let her rip. So in a narcissistic relationship, there's a lot of unfair things that happen. Nobody's free from blame. Both sides do things that they shouldn't do, whether it's a response to abuse or whether it's their own trauma, their own past, any of that stuff. There's always two sides to it. But if you go through it, you know that what you went through was, you know what you went through. You know the experience. You know that although you may have your past and you have your issues and you have your own personality, things that you have to work through, anger issues, fear of abandonment, fear of intimacy, whatever it is. I mean, everybody's got their thing on either side. But when you know that you are dealing with somebody who is mentally manipulating your brain, who is trying to make you doubt yourself, who's trying to play this game where it's like they tell you that they love you so much and they see all these things in you and make you feel so loved. And then, like, behind your back, they're, if you're not responding the way they want you to, or you're sensing something and you're voicing that something's wrong, and even though they say, oh, I love you so much, but you just keep noticing all these things that are happening in the relationship, and you keep trying to address it, and they keep pushing you away, stonewalling you and not wanting to discuss it. Or if when you do discuss it, they say that you're just criticizing them and blaming them for everything and telling them everything that's wrong with them. You start wondering if is it you? Is it you? Because they're sitting here telling you they love you so much, and you stay with them because you feel so loved by them. But then also there's this duality. There's this confusing, just something you can't quite. You didn't notice it obviously in the beginning. Maybe your stomach felt funny. I know mine did, but I just thought it was whatever. Jitters, or my fear of intimacy, or my fear of abandonment, or my fear of getting hurt again. Causing me to push. But really it was my gut screaming at me like, something's not right. You're being told one thing and then you're finding out another. And then as the years went by, stories would be told at one point, and then the stories would be told again later on, and they didn't add up. And when you brought it up, anger, you get met with anger, more confusion. Why are you bringing up the past? Just constant in a circle. You cannot just directly say, oh, I don't know why I said that this time. I meant this and this. And then if they go back on their own to the original story and have it straight, I mean, most likely you can say, okay, you made a mistake when you said it this time. And if they remember what they first told you and they go back to that, generally you can say that they are genuinely trying to correct themselves and be direct with it, which is okay. But it's unfair. It is unfair that they do this to you, because then you're reacting in certain ways to them. You're getting upset with them more. You're out in public and you're fighting with them more, and you're reactive more, and everybody's seeing you act a certain way. They're not seeing any of the stuff that's going on at home, or while you guys are alone, or when you guys are out together. They're not seeing any of those things. Maybe they are. Mutual friends see a lot of things, and they don't want to get involved. Understandable, but you also need to understand people that when your friend group, one of them breaks up, and it's a hard thing for you as a friend to deal with it. I understand. I've been in the middle of some things myself, and it's not It sucks. But to dismiss one person over the other, that's not okay. I mean, I understand you say, I don't want to be involved. I get that. I really do. But if you're going to be that way, don't go around talking your own crap. And then when that person tries to tell you what's really going on their end and how it was for them, truly, don't be dismissive. You can at least listen, but you don't need to be rude and dismissive, because a lot of people go through a lot of hell and get made to look like they're the problem. And like I said before, everybody has their issues. No one's perfect. There is two sides to the story. People have their own toxic behaviors. But when somebody is being gaslighted, confused, manipulated, lied to, cheated on, and I wasn't ever really physically abused. I mean, there was some activities that I agreed to that I consented to, wasn't forced to do, but if you look at them, they were extremely abusive. And, what can I say about that? There's nothing I can say about any of those things. I consented to it. However, they were what they were. Enjoyable at a point, but we're done to please that person. So that is what it is. But yeah, this is like the most unfair thing to anyone who has to go through this. Because you know your truth, and then when you have people not wanting to listen to it, I mean, if you're lucky enough that you have people, you have your family, you have friends, a lot of times people lose friends. People lose an entire friend group. People lose their best friends. I mean, it just depends on what happens. And these narcissistic people, I'm talking the true ones. And, I'm not, because I wonder myself, like part of this abuse you go through, you start to wonder if it's you, because you start looking at your past, because you're that type of person. Most of us that go through this are people who know that they've done wrong, and know that they've wronged people, and know that they have exes who would probably say, I think you're narcissistic. They probably would say that. And, maybe their ex wouldn't say that about them, whatever. People do hurt people and unintentionally, and that doesn't mean that they're narcissistic. Like I said, when you have someone who is purposely trying to make you doubt yourself so they can maintain control over you in some form or fashion, because there's something about your personality that they like and they want to keep a lid on because it makes them uncomfortable. In my case, with my relationship, beforehand and stuff like that, like, I was a wild child. I am a wild child. I'll even say it. I'm a wild child. I will even say that I dabbled in a little bit of a revenge, and it wasn't healthy. Not appropriate behavior, in public and stuff like that. So, I mean, like I said, everybody has their thing that they do in response, and there's your truth, regardless of what you did. Your truth. And that your head was messed with. And there's no reason for that. There's no reason for someone to be with you. Okay, you're going to get in an argument with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and you're going to, probably throw some shade at their behaviors and things like that, and you get in an argument. Your goal in life isn't to steadily bring them down and drive wedges between them and their support group or their family and friends and things like that. And so somehow make it like it's their fault, because if they react, they try to explain, they try to say what's really going on, like, you will be shut down, and you'll be shut down quick. So that's none of our fault. We didn't ask for that. Arguments, pushing and shoving is never okay, but it happens. It does happen, because once you get pushed to that point, you're just like, oh, come on. Just serious, come on. Like, you have no patience left. And then again, you get reactive, you start pushing, it looks like you. And it is, I mean, that you are to blame for pushing. You shouldn't be. You should be touching each other. You shouldn't be doing that. But there's so many facets to all these things. All these relationships that people go through. Like, in general, there's a general outline of how they go, but some of them are more abusive. Some of them are more financially abusive. Some of them are more physically abusive. Some of them are more sexually abusive. Some of them are like chain you up somewhere, tie you up somewhere, like not in the fun way, not in the consenting way either. Like, there's somewhere you don't leave. You don't leave the house ever. You're done. You're going to be put in the ground. Done. That's that bad. And there's serious stalking, and there's just, keeping money from you, hiding your, I mean, there's just there's all kinds of levels to it. But the main part for me right now, I'm 4 months no contact, and 4 months no contact technically, 2 months since I seen him at a wedding. So didn't talk to him, whatever. But this isn't fair. It really isn't fair. And to know that other people have dealt with it as well helps. It really does. But like when the camera comes off, or the video stops when you're on YouTube and you're trying to help yourself, it's still there. You still have to process it. You still have to deal with it. And if you are lucky enough to have people in your life, try to tell them, like, I understand, like, I'm driving you insane with this. Please let me know if I get too much. But I need to be able to talk it out. I have to talk it out. I have to get to a certain point. And if I don't, I am going to, I feel like that. I feel like I have so much pent up rage and so much anger because this isn't fair. This is not fair at all. Like, again, I was not perfect. I have done things to myself to make myself, to play into the lies that I find out about what I was told and things that have been done, and when they smear campaign you, which if you watch narcissistic videos on YouTube, about smear campaigns. They started doing that a long time ago. A lot of YouTubers say that they started like right away. If there's any issues, I don't even know if there's, even if there isn't issues, they wouldn't do that. I'm not sure about that, but I know that, there'd be times where I got in an argument with my ex and he just run away. And it wasn't, and it was, you're doing something and it's irritating and we need to talk about it. Or we have this problem and we need to discuss it. And I might have been being bitchy. I might have been nice. It wouldn't matter. It didn't matter. And I had addressed that with him too. And I said, I could be nice or mean. You get butt sore about everything I say. We run away. Didn't matter what it was they were trying to talk. If I was trying to directly discuss him and I, gone. And so we're broken up. And many of the times it would be my fault. Oh, we broke up again. And everybody would be looking at me. Like, oh, what's her problem? Why? Well, not every time that happened, it was my fault. You know what I mean? Or I broke up with them. Half the time we got in a fight and we just didn't talk. And then, of course, he's got to go around and make sure everybody thinks that it's me. Well, no, there's two people in this, okay? And it isn't just me. You can't discuss your problems with your partner if they leave it on you. Or going around and telling everybody this, that, and the other. You just, how you guys, if you don't talk to me about it and you talk to everyone else about it, how are we supposed to work on it? Again, just not fair. Not fair at all.